Well, Brad, you have to count your lucky stars because you don't get to listen to me brag about Arsenal beating Chelsea because we have to talk about the League Cup final. This is Red Card Radio. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you're listening from. Thanks for tuning in. Red Card Radio is a weekly look at the Premier League from a collection of friends who support different clubs. My name is James. I support Arsenal. With me tonight is Brad. He supports Chelsea. Down below on the bottom row is Sean. He supports Tottenham. And joining us tonight, as ever, our resident Newcastle United supporter, Joel, is in the house. Joel, hello. Good day. I would ask how you're doing, but I would imagine you're doing fantastic.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. As always, pleasure to be on. It's a good time to be a Newcastle fan for a change. Yeah, we won a trophy. I don't even know how it feels. Still, it's a weird feeling, but it's great.
Are they going to do a parade? I imagine they have to be, right?
Yeah, the Twitterverse would tell me that yes, they are doing a parade in the next week or so.
Good for them.
Maybe
they let Dan Burn. Maybe they'll let Dan Burn come back from the international duty before they have the parade.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I mean they have to. He'll be driving the bus.
Probably. All right. Before we dig in earnest to this cup final, if you could hit the subscribe button, ring the sub notification bell if you are on one of the podcast sites, and we uploaded it to that podcast site. Hit the follow, 5-star review, whatever the platform allows. We really do appreciate it. Hit the share button, listen to the end. All those things are tremendously helpful for us, and so we say thank you for clicking on this. We really appreciate that you're here, and we hope you enjoy. So, what Red Card Radio has on offer for you this week? Normally, we would have 2 episodes. This is an international break coming up, so we are going to do 1 episode this week. So this is the only one you got. So cherish it and listen to it all the way through, and it will sustain you through the doldrum of the international break. But I do believe they're, at least in Europe, they're doing World Cup qualifiers this weekend. So at least there's some jeopardy going on there. But there were Premier League games, whatever. We might talk about 1 or 2 of them here in a minute. But the big one, League Cup final, Wembley Stadium, Sunday afternoon, 12:30 start if you're on the East Coast in America. Afternoon start in England. Liverpool against Newcastle, the most storied club in all of England, the club with the most honors in all of England versus the club who has failed to have a major honor in over 70 years. So it was David versus Goliath, and David was victorious, though maybe not David anymore. That Saudi Arabia money changes that calculus slightly, but Newcastle were deserved winners. Joel, how are you feeling coming into this game?
Pessimistic, but I still think that I thought we had a chance. I thought we had a punter's chance. It's a final. Anything can happen. So I was confident that Newcastle would be well up for it, but pessimistic about the result because it's Liverpool. They're the best team in the league. They're miles clear in the league. Our left side was weakened massively. No Gordon, no Hall. So I was pessimistic, but like I said, there was always that like slight dreamer's confidence that you have. You know, you're in a final. We're well up for it. The fans are up for it. So yeah, that's probably how I was feeling going into it.
Well, I think that's a fair. Obviously, I think that's a fair way to look at it. I know that both Sean and I were pretty confident on your behalf. I know when we spoke about it last week, we really thought that Newcastle would win the game. And I don't think we said that necessarily out of like hope. It wasn't like a hopeful like we hope Newcastle wins. I think both of us legitimately thought Newcastle would win the match. Started off great, header from Big Dan Burn, and it was from a country mile away. Like it was not it was from a corner, right? Or set piece. It was a corner. Yeah. And he just
and that was was another pain point coming in, right? You're not just without Gordon and Hall, you're also without Botman.
Yeah,
So
no Botman.
Dan Burn was only there because of replacing Botman.
Yeah, I mean, strongest 11, you'd probably have Botman and Fabian Schär starting at the back. Yeah, you're right. But on the topic of the goal, the corner, I mean, Newcastle had, I don't know how many it was, but a whole bunch of corners in the first half.
Yeah,
one of them went short, and then that went out the window. But the rest of them float to the back post to Dan Burn, and that was it. And Liverpool, for some reason, decided to carry on having Alexis McAllister mark it, who's one of the shortest players on the pitch. I didn't get it. I don't know why they didn't. And even in the second half, they stuck with that. And McAllister doesn't stand a chance against 6'6", 6'7", whatever it is, Dan Burn. But take nothing away, the header was an excellent header. It was perfect.
It was pinpoint, and it had to be. I mean, you kind of got that sense from the way Kelleher dove for it and just couldn't get it. It was perfectly placed. It was quite the goal. But I think beyond the fact that, and then like take nothing away from the Isak goal, it was quite a strike. I think that my biggest takeaway watching it was just how well prepared Newcastle seemed to be coming into this match.
Yeah, they were. I mean, Eddie Howe and Jason Tyndall, whatever setup they had, it was perfect. First time I think I've seen in Salah's Liverpool career he failed to have a shot on target or a shot in general. Yeah, he didn't do anything all game. Diaz, Jota, I mean, all of them were nullified completely, and that's down to the defensive positioning and our midfield just being all over. Joelinton, he's one of the best box to box midfielders I've seen, and he was everywhere tackling, and it was unreal. Everyone.
Would all of us be in agreement that Liverpool take Mo Salah out of Liverpool's attack, and their attack is lacking a lot? Would we all agree with that they are really heavily reliant on Mo Salah?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say yes for sure.
Well, yeah, and Salah's stats kind of prove that too, because he leads in both assists and goals, so he's basically manufacturing almost all of their goals.
I'd be curious to see who he is assisting the most, because I would imagine it's got to be midfield runners more than
Salazar, McAllister,
more than the other attacking players.
It's interesting because in previous years, not taking away from Liverpool's season, if they're going to win the league, so it's a good season.
Yeah.
But
maybe
in previous years they had, if Salah wasn't playing well, they had Mane, they had Firmino to bail them out, and it feels like they don't have that.
I mean, and even saying bail them out seems overly. I think that the thing about that front three of Mane, Salah, and Firmino is that all three of them, obviously Salah is the best of them, but they were all three capable of doing it on their own. Like they didn't rely on Salah, and so like this is something that since Firmino left specifically, I think, and he kind of fell off in his last season, that they've really been missing. And Luis Diaz isn't that guy. Darwin Nunez certainly isn't that guy, and so I think Liverpool are certainly going to be in a market for a center forward of some type this summer.
Hopefully not a Swedish fella in the northeast. But
my understanding is that a Swedish fellow in the northeast is, I think he'd look better in a different shade of red, personally.
Speaking of that fellow, there was a funny moment where internet lip readers believe Virgil van Dijk came over to congratulate Isak after the game, and they thought they could read "Don't be late for preseason" from Isak to Virgil.
No, I thought it was from Virgil to
Virgil to Isak.
Well, you can't see Virgil's face.
That's why I think it's
you can see Isak. You can see Isak saying that, or moving his mouth at least, and I thought that's what the lip reading was Virgil's coming to the northeast part of the country to pair with Botman.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
Don't be late.
interesting.
Don't be late for preseason. And then Virgil looks back at him with a wry smile. A kind of a okay, buddy. One of those.
That's actually an interesting. Everyone just assumes that Virgil is going to join PSG. Like, I think that's because it looks increasingly likely that all three of Van Dijk, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and Mo Salah are all leaving Liverpool this summer. It seems increasingly likely that that's all happening because it's March. It's mid-March, and their contracts expire in 2.5 months. Right? Like, so.
Oh.
Yeah.
I said that a while ago, but it's
yeah,
okay.
Well, I thought that they would re-sign at least one of them.
I think out of the most likely is Van Dijk.
But it seems like they're not going to. So not only Liverpool, like, they almost have to win the league this year, and they obviously are going to win the league. But if somehow they don't win the league this year and they lose all three of these players, like, it's gonna be they're not gonna be the same team next year. And so
No, that's spine right there.
Like, and I think I brought this up a couple months ago when we talked about this. Like, if those three players leave, would Alisson Becker look around and be like, I think
Wow.
my time here is done too. It's time for me to go too. Would Andy Robertson be like, I think it's time to go back to Scotland? I could see a lot of these players being like, especially the Jurgen Klopp players, the players got signed for Klopp, could look at it and be like, it might be time to seek different pastures. But
yeah, I do think Robertson's one that's probably on his way out. He's aging as well.
Certainly.
Van Dijk is also getting up there. Salah. Trent. We'll see. I can't see him leaving, but he might. So he's got that Gerrard story about him. Like, he's just from Liverpool, raised Liverpool, will always be Liverpool. But
yeah, but he's won everything now. Unlike Gerrard, he's won everything for Liverpool. And I think that that's the most important thing, especially if they win the league this year. Like, he will have brought 2 Premier Leagues. Was it one Champions League?
One Champions League.
FA Cups, Carabao Cups. Like, I think that now he's going to go, and it's not like he's going to another English team. He's going to Real Madrid. Like, probably the only other club in the world to a Liverpool, like a native Scouse that like looks at that and says, that's probably the only other team in the world that's even comparable to Liverpool to him. So
yeah, no, you're right. Well, we'll see. I mean, hopefully they will.
Enough about Liverpool. Where do Newcastle go from here?
Yeah,
I think they just crack on as they are. I mean, next goal is top 4 or top 5 Champions League qualification. What a season that will be! Like, lift a trophy and qualify for the Champions League. It's your dream season right there.
I kind of hope that's not the outcome personally, for selfish reasons, because all of the talk is that Newcastle, if they fail to reach the Champions League, then their players are more signable. But
I mean, yes, but so they're guaranteed Europe now.
Yes.
Yeah, they've already qualified for Europe.
Yes.
Is it Europa League or Conference League?
Europa Conference League, sir.
Okay, Conference League.
Yeah.
I'm confident Newcastle will finish top 5.
As am I. Especially now with the momentum and the goodwill and the feeling of success.
I can't see us slipping away that much. Not that we've got an easy run into easy, but we've still got to play Chelsea at home, so that's a great opportunity to. No, not just because Brad, but like just to get through.
Yeah, because it's top 6. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, so that game's probably going to be super important.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a huge winner of that. Most okay, they're getting champions. So I mean, I think that's what's next. I honestly, even if we don't get top 5, I don't see that core spine of like Isak, Gordon leaving.
Yeah, so do I. I joke about Isak, but the first thing I want Arsenal to do on day 1 of the transfer window is sign Benjamin Sesko. Because he is the approachable target. He is the attainable target. And Benjamin Sesko is obviously not as good as Isak is right now, but he's young. He has upside potential. He wants from all the reports he wants to join, Isak is never a realistic target for any English team, in my opinion. I don't see Liverpool paying what Newcastle want. I don't see Arsenal paying what Newcastle want.
No, I read on X a post from Bible Newcastle United journalist, and he was saying that the chairman has apparently said, please resist all offers for him, and that Barcelona were watching him against West Ham Monday, the game before the final. Thankfully, he didn't do much. So, but like that's the kind of interest in him. So
I hear you say
Barcelona watching anybody is hilarious.
It's hilarious to me at all that like in this day and age that like people go to the stadium like to scout a player. Like it's not like it's not broadcast on any TV channel.
I think it's more of a like it's just more of a show. Like,
sure. Yeah.
We're here. Just so you know, we're here.
It's the pageantry of it.
Yeah, that's the word. Yeah, but it's just like letting Newcastle know, hey, Barcelona, watching your player, just watch out.
Yeah.
Here in London.
It may also be added pressure to see how they handle it. I'm sure just a single scout to someone like Isak is probably not that much pressure. He probably forgot about it the moment after the game kicked off.
Does he even know? Like, would he even be aware of it before the game? They seem. I don't see why he would be. Like, I would assume that they're really well insulated.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know, but I hope he doesn't go anywhere. I think that now they've tasted a little bit of success. I think they'll want more of it with Newcastle. You'd hope. So yeah, fingers crossed. I think Bruno Gordon and Isak are three. I think they're going to be the most rumored about leaving.
Yeah.
So if they can hold up to that call, that'd be great.
You can put some of this prize money into upgrading that championship. What was the League One level equipment you guys had on the training ground that Steve Bruce had going on?
Yeah, that's slowly but surely being done over there.
Sean, you will be shocked to find out what the prize money is for winning the EFL Cup.
It's probably like $120,000.
It's absolutely nothing.
I'm figuring they're putting a new vending machine in for Gatorades on the training ground or something like that.
It is pittance compared to any other competition.
That's why I joked on an upgrade of the.
Got it.
Was it Steve Bruce? No, that's a manager.
Mike
Ashley. Mike Ashley level training ground that he had going on up there.
Yeah. That's all being. I think slowly but surely that's part of the long term.
I'm sure the 5-figure prize money could make it an improvement on what he had going on up there.
Yeah. It's gonna get them exactly one Peloton. All right, Peloton. Hey, if you want to sponsor the podcast, let us know. I got space. I could put it right behind me. I could put it right behind me, and I could like do an intro where I'm riding the Peloton. Just hit me up.
Yeah.
info.redcarradio@gmail.com. We're open to it, Peloton.
Peloton, keep pedaling.
Yes. Not a sponsored ad.
Not a sponsored ad.
I mean, Sean and I are trying to lose, are in a weight loss journey here. We have a weight loss challenge going on.
And so there we go. It's written in the stars. Written in the stars. We are about 19 minutes into this podcast. I think, Brad, do you think we're done? Or do you feel like we're done?
Yeah, I'm good. Well, there was one London derby I want to talk about on the west side, but like we don't want to talk about the north side derby.
Sure, yeah, Brad. If there was a London derby you want to talk about, bring it up, man.
Yeah. So like, what happened with this Fulham Spurs game, Sean?
The Fulham Spurs game. My main takeaway was that. Make sure I'm remembering this right. I believe Bergvall came off the bench. Bergvall's got to start every game. He's a mainstay now. I just want to confirm. Working my way back towards it. And I think Gray played the entire game in midfield, which was.
Well, didn't he drop back when Romero came off? That's what I saw on the Twitters.
Yeah, so Gray started. Bergvall came on, and yes, Gray dropped back. But when Bergvall came on, he kind of changed the game, and the tone of the game changed in the second half. We had a lot more chances, a lot more corners, a lot more free kicks. He got shots off that has been a recent complaint that I have lodged with you guys in the chat, that it sometimes seems like Tottenham's disinterested in kicking it in the general direction of the goal. And Bergvall sometimes feels interested in doing that.
Which is an absolutely crazy thing when you think about what this Tottenham team has been over the last 2 years with Ange, is that it's been free-flowing, it's been attacking, it's been
all the goals we score. Just kick it at it. Sometimes it rattles in, man. Like,
yeah.
Is it a tactical change that they're not doing that? Like, what do you think, Sean? Is Ange told them to play a different way?
I don't think so, because we're getting the same amount of touches in the attacking third, but we're not getting the touches in the box, and we're getting bogged down outside the box and then resetting, and then coming back into the attacking third and then resetting. And so we're maintaining the possession, but not attempting to do anything. That's how at least it was on the first half against AZ, where I commented that it felt like we were trying to bore them to death. Or at least make them fall asleep on the field. But yeah, Bergvall came on and kind of changed the tone. A lot of 1-2s, a lot of getting shots off, and it felt a lot more free flowing. And especially we even tried to play without Madison. Madison, I believe, did come on as well. So maybe that in part changes some things. But the second goal by Sessegnon is, if you want to blame anybody, it's a blunder on Davies for misjudging the ball, because once it bounces, he doesn't have a snowball's chance in heck on keeping Sessegnon out there. Once it bounces, it's all his, and Davies has no chance.
So Sean, why? And I don't know if there's been injuries, but why are like Madison and Son and Bergvall? Why are they not starting?
Because they had to play for so many games in a row. So I think they're trying to get them a little spurts here, game off there.
Load management.
And they're gonna be in international break. I know Bergvall, Gray, and Tell all got called up to youth, so they may not be in the World Cup qualifiers, but they're gonna be playing at the youth level. Along with our son Madison's probably on the English club. If he's healthy enough, I'm sure he's going.
Bet Romero's on his way to Argentina.
Yep, Romero's on his way down. Bentancur,
it's probably still flying.
Probably still flying. Yeah,
it's a long flight. Buenos Aires from Heathrow is a long flight.
Yeah, so knowing those guys we're going into an international break, but they're going to be playing 3 games in 2 days, or sometimes it's 2 games in 2 weeks, but normally they try to get 3 into the international break, I assume.
I think it's 2 games in like 10 days normally, because it's normally you get there, you had a couple days of training, you have a game at the weekend, you have like a Saturday game, and then you have like a Tuesday or Wednesday game, and then everybody flies home on Thursday, generally, or depending on where you are. I remember the U.S. used to do this international break as a European camp. The U.S. men's team used to come to Europe and do a camp in Europe during this international break.
Just play some friendlies against the clubs that don't have international players, something like that.
No, we'd be playing international teams, but we'd be going to Europe.
Like their camp would be in Germany, and then they'd go play Morocco or something like that. Or
I see,
little
retreat getaway type deal.
That, and it would make it easier for the European players who are coming into the hardest part of their season, and they get to include them, and they don't make them fly across the world. It kind of just makes it usually like the European camp. And on top of that, MLS was starting back up. So normally you don't want to like pull the domestic players out of their clubs right as their season's starting. So that's what they kind of just did, a European-based camp. But the U.S. men's national team always does funky things. So I don't know what they're doing. I assume they're playing domestically this break. I'm not sure, though.
My hometown club has 2 players that were called up for
who from
Charlotte FC has Tim Ream. Charlotte FC has Tim Ream and Ajiman called up for the U.S. game, for the U.S. international break.
What about Wilfred Zaha? Did he get called up?
Not yet. but the young upstart will show his potential, get some goals, and then hopefully be called up soon to it.
makes a name for himself. He'll get called up for the national team.
Yes.
Got it.
US they have a big game coming up though. You guys are going to watch 20th against Panama at the semi-final Nations League.
Oh, the Nations League, the very prestigious Nations League.
Yeah, semi-final.
You said that's on the 20th? Oh, that's okay, this weekend. All right, then.
Yeah.
I'll watch it. Sean, I would ask you your longtime feelings and blah, 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 but I think they're all the same. It's a bad season. Can't wait for it to be over. Don't get relegated kind of situation.
Yeah.
Yep.
Promise for next year.
Yep. Sean, were there any other games that you wanted to touch on?
No, I think you guys are just avoiding
that was
the other game.
I was leading in because Brad.
I just dump trucked you with the follow game.
Yes, you're supposed to reciprocate.
He was hoping that you would dump truck me with the Arsenal Chelsea game.
Yes.
Hold on, time. We'll cut all this out in post production.
Yep.
So we're just we're gonna go back. Hold on, let me reset. So Sean, are there any other games that you would want to talk about?
Yes, Brad. I would like to talk about Chelsea Arsenal.
Oh yeah, that game.
It was perfectly robotic. I love it. Why? Yes.
Did
Brad.
that game happen?
Yes, it did happen, Brad. It absolutely did happen.
We got another crazy Arteta quote after the game. So those that didn't watch, Arsenal won 1-0.
Were the balls
chat,
okay? As long as the balls were okay.
You know what's funny?
Arteta.
You know what's funny? The Puma balls are making a comeback. Puma balls are going to be the balls next season. Nike is done for.
Which is such a shame.
For the Prem.
Okay.
I think the Premier League has been with Nike the entire time. They've used Nike balls the entire time.
I feel like that's true, yeah.
Yep, history is changing.
Can we since we're talking about the footballs right now, can we just talk about this spring ball that looks iconic? It looks like the classic Nike ball. I might buy one. It looks so good.
2004 or something, or
it was like that mid-thousands era Nike ball. Yeah, it looks so good.
Well, you might have to, because I definitely don't have a soccer ball ready for the RCR last week of the season get together.
The kickabout.
But
last time I went for a kickabout, I broke my leg. So don't tell the CFO. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to just derail you there.
No, this is awesome because we can just at the podcast. Arsenal won 1-0. Let's move. I'm just kidding. No, yeah.
You were talking about
Arsenal
the Arteta quotes. We got derailed from the Arteta quotes.
Yes, the Arteta quote was the that Chelsea has the best offense he's seen in the Premier League, and that Maresca is a great coach. Which, hey, listen, I have no Maresca hate. I have Maresca questions, but I don't have Maresca hate.
Do you guys?
I
was gonna say this. Do you guys remember back in 2019, 2020 or so when Arsenal got beat up by Jose Mourinho? I guess it was Chelsea at that point, or was it Tottenham?
Probably.
It was Jose Mourinho's team. And all Mourinho did was come out after the game and was so effusive about how good Arteta was, and he gave this interview and talking all about how it's just one of those things where it's kind of demeaning a little bit, where the manager comes out and it's oh they're just so good, you're gonna see how good they are in a couple years and you got to support him, blah blah blah. And it just, I don't know, that's just what it struck me as.
Yeah, no, yeah. And I have Maresca questions. I don't understand Reece James in midfield. The whole point is to make him run less. Why do we have him playing midfield?
You don't. He's a right back that's coming into midfield.
No, he is playing midfield.
Hold on. I think
he is partnering Caicedo. Enzo was pushed up because Cole Palmer was out. But even still, Reece James, he sees Reece James as a CDM, not as a right back.
Oh, you're right.
Yes. Cole Palmer was out.
That's right.
Which I think so I do think Reece James was probably slotted in to be right back, but be the one that pushes into the middle. Again, I don't understand. Send Reece James down the right flank and let him cross the ball in.
To who though? Pedro Neto?
I'm with you.
Like if Nico Jackson
not
is
wrong.
if Jackson's in the team, then yeah, that's a different conversation. If the dude from Barcelona, Goihi, is that what? No, what's his name?
Yes, you're right. Goyi.
Yeah, if he's in the team,
You're right. Different situation. I'm with you. I'm with you. That's why I said I have questions. But I think that was, and then that's how bad Shield slid into left back, and he literally just moved Colwill and Fofana to the right side. So yeah, no, I mean it is what it is. We play like Robert Sanchez had a good game, but he should have saved the goal that went in. You guys should have scored a goal. It probably shouldn't have been that one.
We should have scored a handful of goals. I think I told you before the game I thought we would win 3-0. And I think if after watching the game it was 3-0, I think everyone would have looked at this game on paper and been like, okay, that's a fair result too. You think 1-0 is a fair result. I think it's flattering to you guys. I think it's flattering to Chelsea to say that 1-0 was a fair result, because Arsenal, to your point, had at least two. I mean, like Robert Sanchez saves one off the line from Marino, but also in the 11th minute, he casually rolls the ball out to Martinelli.
Yeah,
I don't know if you remember watching this, but like the ball's at his feet. He takes a second. He's not under a lot of pressure, and he just passes the ball out to his right, and it's a perfect pass to Gabriel Martinelli.
Yeah,
and it's just like, how is this man playing? Like, how is this man a professional? Like,
how is he the number one
Chelsea goalkeeper?
Yes, I do not understand it.
It was an exceptionally bad display. And like he rolls it out to Martinelli, and Martinelli doesn't score. Like, because he's, I don't know, maybe he's out of form, whatever. But it's just like, that was an opportunity that he missed. Martinelli had another one from the right-hand side that he just shoots over the bar because, whatever. Like, so like Arsenal, I think, should have had 3 or 4 goals in this game. And if I said that after watching it, you'd be like, okay, yeah, that's fair. I thought it was very, very funny. Caicedo gave an interview after the game and was like, and okay, in his defense, it is an interview to Chelsea Fan TV or Chelsea TV or whoever it is. So it's the in-house Chelsea thing. So like, he's not
still ridiculous.
He's not gonna he's gonna big up his men, but like his quote was like, "We were the better team, and Arsenal have been together for so much longer than we have, but we were the better team." So that's encouraging. And I just look at that. I say, okay, if Maresca is legitimately looking at the players and saying, you guys were the better team in this game, you guys deserve to get more out of this game. If that's what he's feeding them, then I'm happy, because like I don't think anyone neutral looks at that game and says that Chelsea were the better team.
Yeah.
Brad, do you think Chelsea get top 5?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know
which one of these 3 is going to be the one that misses out, but I do think my team is top 5. But between Chelsea, City, and Newcastle, it's going to be tight.
It will be very tight. It's probably going to the last day of the season.
Yes, it's going to make that real fun.
I think that is probably going to be the most interesting thing decided towards the end of the season. It seems to me that the relegation is pretty set. The league is done for all account. Like, unless and if the league goes down to the final day of the season, then Liverpool have had the capitulation of an eternity.
Yes, so generational.
The league is done. My interpretation coming into this match is that if Arsenal beat Chelsea here, then Arsenal essentially guarantee themselves Champions League. Now, obviously, that's not true. Arsenal could lose a couple games here in a row, but beating a Champions League challenging rival in this way, it puts them 9 points up over Chelsea, who are in 4th with 9 games left to go. You would expect Arsenal to finish at least in the top 4, top 5, depending on what the position is. So then it comes down to Forest, who are in 3rd right now, Chelsea, City, Newcastle. And I don't think we should wholesale ignore Brighton, who are only 2 points off of 4th.
Yeah, I mean, if Newcastle win that game in hand, We go fourth
Yes, on 50 points.
on 50. Yeah.
But that's
Which
only
puts us,
like that's
it's-
only
it's really bad.
that's only
It's really
3 points. That's only 3 points separating fourth from seventh. And so I think you have to legitimately look at that and say all 4 of those teams have a shot.
It's only 5 points separating 10th. Like, it's
Yeah.
not like you look below that.
Yeah,
and
like
you got
Aston Villa. Like Aston
Bournemouth,
Villa could
Villa.
come back.
They're all in a shout for Europe. Maybe not Champions League. They're not all going to get Champions League, but Europe, Conference League, Europa League.
Aston Villa, I fully believe that Aston Villa believe that they're still in the hunt for the Champions League.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Right? And
Of
so
course.
this could be, there are going to be some very, very disappointed fan bases because
Yeah.
this scrum for the last 2 Champions League spots, assuming England gets 5 spots, it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
I'm glad my team's not involved. Sean, how
And-
do you feel? Are you glad your team's not involved?
Oh, I wrung my hands because that 5 points from 4 to 10, Tottenham could be in that. I mean, in the last 3 or 4 weeks, we've just dropped points that are unnecessary. Fulham and I mean, not to mention the ones we dropped back in December and January, but there's been so many drop points that are just completely unnecessary that we could be right in the thick of it. And we could be just 10th and right in the thick of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bro, I'm with
So
you.
it's
Like,
just so disappointing that we could be right there.
Yeah.
if we don't make it, it's because of the holiday season. 22nd through the 4th. 1 point in 4 games, and our opponents were Everton, Fulham, Ipswich, and Palace.
I feel like it was a longer run than that. I feel like you had a longer.
So we had a draw at Bournemouth, then we beat Chelsea, then we lost, then we beat Wolves, and we lost to City. But like, I'm counting the draw of Bournemouth, like that's a good.
Well, there was a time where you were like 18 points out of the next 6 or 7 games, and then they took like 1 point
Yes.
or like 4
They
points
took, like,
out of it or something
yeah.
like that.
Yep.
Curse of commentator's curse. It's the worst. All right, that's all we got. Joel, as always, we really appreciate you being on. Thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
I
Love being on.
think we still all agree that Newcastle are an okay team for us neutrals to still cheer for. That might change over the course of the next few years, depending on Saudi Arabia and how much money they pump into the club. So we'll let you know in 3 years if we've got Manchester City 2.0. But as of now, congratulations to you and yours. You should enjoy it. And so yeah. But that's all we got for you guys this week. Hope you, if you're watching international football, great. If not, then we'll be back next week where we preview match week 30. Our round 30 in the Premier League's coming up. This is the home stretch. Next week we're going to preview round 30. Oh, is it FA Cup?
Nope. 2 weeks of international football, sir. We will have a podcast next week.
No,
Yeah,
you're wrong.
This is a week.
The FA Cup is on the 30th.
Is it?
Brad.
Maybe that's what it is. Okay.
Yeah, none of us are involved in that.
So yeah, we'll have something for you guys next week. It probably won't be the FA Cup.
We might talk about the FA Cup.
We might.
We might have
Probably
to do
not,
it.
but we might.
Okay. Yeah. We'll be back next week with something. Maybe we'll do maybe we'll rate the kits, Brad.
Yeah.
All right. That's all we do. Hit us up on social media. Brad is at KSBradG. Sean is at Whiteheart_Sean. I am at James Tiffany. Joel is at Joel Findley 16. Collectively, we can be reached at redcard_radio. Thanks so much for listening. We really appreciate it. Have a great weekend.